Welcome to Trek Trav. I'm Trav, and this is your review for Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 9, Lagrange Point. I want you to come back, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you give it a little like, I'll give it a little like back. I'd love to hear what you thought about this episode. We open with Maul on the Breen ship. She's in control, and once again, from last review I talked about, I think this was very fast. I think it was very fast for her to come in control. But I do like Maul, although I've been thinking of her kind of like Astronomer from Power Rangers. I think it's because I thought that the prime of the Breen kind of reminded me of Lord Zed, and now she's kind of like Astronomer. But yeah, so she's in control. They managed to get there. The Progenitors device is on board. They're trying to hack into it. Burnham and all of that are going, we have to go steal it back. So they go into Breen outfits, which is fine. I don't mind it. And the funny thing is you can actually tell which one's Sonequa Martin Green because her walk is so distinctive. And I didn't realize this until I watched it, but it's just like, that's Sonequa. I really enjoyed the tension build to this episode. I am a little bit worried that we've got this giant container with a door that leads to some extra dimensional place. It would be interesting, and I really hope this is the case, that it doesn't end in a big bombastic battle. I don't want Discovery to end in that way. I feel like that's too much. I definitely think that Booker coming on board, we obviously get the sort of culmination of other crew members' storylines. Rayner is very much in charge, but they notice that he doesn't like sitting in the captain's seat. And Rayner is perfect for a command role. Particularly, he'd be a really good captain, but he's good in a command role in general. I think that Tilly plays really well in this. He asks her to be a first officer again, asks her to be his first officer, and they sort of have this bond where they're very different people, but they understand that they kind of need each other, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was a nice sort of ending to that. I think Adira's storyline, it's her coming into her own, having the confidence to translate Breen language and try and get the shields down so they can get to the Progenitors device. I do still think that it was a bit of an issue killing the Primer, mainly because I think his character was much stronger than Maul's. Maul's desperation for Locke and bringing him back to life is obviously a big driving force for her character. But I just think that he would have been a stronger bad guy. We've also got this other Breen fleet coming, and I'm just a bit like, that fleet's going to turn up next episode, and it's going to be an all-out battle. And Michael's going to somehow use the progenitor technology to bring them together. I very much feel like that's the way it's going to end. Culber is there. I feel that they sort of lost the perspective of the Progenitors device. And another thing I've noticed in regards to the Progenitor and the links to the chase is when you watch the chase, the knowledge that they give, or the end of the hunt, is essentially, here's a revelation about all you humanoid species. You all look the similar or the same. We seeded you across the galaxy. Then Discovery took the turn of going, well, no, there's actually this ancient technology. And adding that to that mythos, I think, takes away from the overall message. I'm hoping in the last episode we get a bit more bang for the buck, but with less bang. I don't want to see spaceships and explosions. I want to see some sort of revelation about the universe, or some sort of textured understanding of people coming together, maybe the Breen coming together, or humans in the Breen, or I want it to feel a little bit more. It would have been much more interesting, to be honest, to have a couple of races going after it at the same time, but for some reason they didn't go that route. But I suppose the Breen are quite interesting because we'd not seen them before. Now, the episode ends with the Progenitors device being stolen back by Discovery, but it breaks when it gets out of there. It turns into like a black hole doorway thing. Michael is inside. Maul is inside. We didn't get to see what's inside, but the thing explodes into like a doorway. Booker is back on Discovery, and he's like, no, she's definitely alive. And Michael also sort of almost confesses her love again to Booker. And I actually think the way this season will end in terms of Michael's story is she will choose to go and be with Booker and leave Starfleet. I think that is probably the best thing I can think. I think that maybe Rayner will take over as captain of Discovery and Michael will go off with Booker. There's a lot of... I'm just theorizing here. This episode overall was a little mixed paced. Like, I didn't mind the fact that they spoke Breen. I like that I didn't quite get... They weren't really showing it, but they spoke Breen and then they would speak English to each other. And I'm like, so the helmet can differentiate between when you're talking to someone outside and inside? Like, it would have been nice if there was a internal, external mode. I'm just assuming there was one. I liked them sneaking onto the ship. I liked them kicking ass. I think they all had a lot to do, which was really, really good. I think this season of Discovery, they've used the whole crew a bit better. Except for, guess who's missing again? Oo and Detmar. And where are they? We don't know. They just disappeared. Oh, look, one of the navigation officers moved to security. It's really odd to me that Oo and Detmar haven't turned up again. I think they've been staples of that bridge since season 1, and it will be incredibly disheartening and a bit sad to me that they got rid of them before the end of the season, unless, and this is my theory, that the Enterprise that they took back, the ISS Enterprise, will be refitted for the 32nd century and they will be in command. That's one of the things. Another amazing return, and someone who has been gone for the whole season, it was because he was doing promotional stuff for Hocus Pocus 2, was Saru, Doug Jones, and obviously his wife, Tarina, and they are very close to getting married. And I like those two characters together. I don't know why they don't kiss. I'm presuming it's because of the height difference or maybe the balancing with Saru or something. But like she keeps touching his chin and I'm like, just kiss. Why aren't they kissing? But their relationship, and then Saru decides that he has to be the one who goes and talks to this other faction of Breen who are coming up. And there's sort of another romantic moment where he's made a decision and they talk about how they're always professional, but they love each other and they care about it. And I'm like, you know what? I love Saru. I love Tarina. This isn't the time for that. I get putting it in means I'm pretty sure it's going to end on Saru's wedding to Tarina. But I think this episode, and this is why this video is late, this episode didn't excite me. I'm interested to see what's inside the Progenitors device. I think that's interesting for me. I don't find anything else going on particularly interesting. Big space battles, race to the point. Like, I just want to see what's inside that Progenitors tech. I want to see what that tech is, and I'm hoping that it's something amazing. We have the final episode of Star Trek Discovery next week. Next week. And I really want it to end on a high note. It's been getting into the top 10 of the streaming ratings the last three times. So it's doing really well. It's moving up those ratings as well. For all those people who say, oh, I hate Discovery, it's clearly got an audience. So move on. But yeah, I think this episode was good. I do not think it's as strong as some of the other episodes in the season, but I am hoping, I think the next episode is an extended episode. I do think that it will hopefully end on a high note. I mean, I'll be genuinely sad when this ends. Do you think that? How do you think it's going to end? What are your predictions? Like I keep going. I think the Enterprise ISS Enterprise is going to turn up. I think Detmer and OO will turn up in some capacity. I hope they do. But what do you think will happen in this final episode? What will be the big revelation? Because if it's just believe in us, we are God, I don't want that. If it's some sort of profound, like, I don't know, new bit of information, or if the technology is just a database, like we've already had that with the big thing that became Discovery's computer. I don't know. I have very little predictions other than I want to see what's inside that fucking wormholey capsule thing. Anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I have been Trek Trav, and I will see you next week for the final episode of Star Trek Discovery.